Hello and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well, and today I'm going to give you your stimulus package update for Friday, May 15th. But before I do that, I'm going to ask you guys a big favor. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. Also, please hit that thumbs up button for me. It helps my channel and it allows YouTube to spread my video and my channel out to more people. If you could do that for me, I really would appreciate it. Now, let me move on to the stimulus package update. As I reported in my video a couple of days ago, the HEROES Act, which is the new stimulus package that has already been put together and it's sitting in the House of Representatives. That particular stimulus package will be voted on today. But let me give you just a recap of some of the key aspects of the HEROES Act. $200 billion for essential workers to get hazard pay. $1 trillion for state, local, and tribal governments to help pay vital workers like first responders, health workers, teachers who could be on verge of losing their jobs. The second stimulus check for Americans in the amount of $1,200. A one-time stimulus check. Now, I'll talk a little bit more about that, but I don't think that's enough. However, instead of a $500 for children families, you'll get $1,200 for each household member up to a maximum of $6,000. Now, if you're a family of 5, you'll get up to $6,000. That's a pretty good deal, even though it's a one-time payment. Also, $75 billion for virus testing, tracing, and isolation efforts. An extension of the virus unemployment program, providing that the extra $600 per week benefit. And what that is the federal unemployment benefit of $600 a week. It was set to expire on July 31st of this year. In the HEROES Act, it would be extended until January 31st, 2021. So those are some of the key aspects of the HEROES Act. I think it's a good, solid stimulus proposal. The problem I have with it is it doesn't address the long-term economic effect that our country is going to deal with or have to deal with. A $1,200 one-time stimulus check is just not enough. We need more than that. The American people need more than that. We need a reoccurring monthly stimulus check for at least 6 months. Because let's face it, we have 30 million people unemployed in our country. That's 1 in every 5 people in our country are now unemployed. And it's not temporary. A lot of those people will lose their jobs permanently. So that means a $1,200 check would be nice, but let's face it, that's not going to help that person who is gonna have to go out and find a new job as the country reopens. Also, let's face it, unemployment benefits from state to state will be challenged. Some of these unemployment benefit trusts in some of these states will be running out of money. So a lot of these people are gonna run out of unemployment. And then what? How are they going to take care of themselves? So I think if we want to really help with our long-term recovery, we need to be, or our politicians, our elected officials, we need to be thinking about a multi-month stimulus check for the people of this country. We got to get that. And unfortunately, the HEROES Act proposal does not address that. It just gives us that one-time $1,200 check. And again, you guys know how I feel about that. It's just not enough. But let's move on. So once the House of Representatives vote on the HEROES Act today, and it's expected to pass, it will then next week, which is May 18th through May 25th, it will move on to the Senate. And then the Senate will start tearing this HEROES Act stimulus proposal apart. Now, obviously, the Senate is controlled by the Republican Party, and we already know the Republicans have said the HEROES Act is dead on arrival once it gets to the Senate. And the reason they say that is because there are key things that are not in the HEROES Act that the Republican Party is wanting to be in there. One of those key measures is being able to protect big businesses from liability. And a lot of these companies do not want the liability associated with someone catching this virus because of the country reopening. So they want protections. They don't want to be subject to class action lawsuits that may pop up as a result of people back out and in close proximity to one another. So that's one of the key things that the HEROES Act does not include, which is liability protections for big companies. It's going to be interesting. I think, like I said, I think what will happen is it'll get to the Republicans in the Senate, and they will certainly, rip this thing to shreds. What do I think will happen long term, though? I think it eventually will force the Democrats and the Republicans to have a dialogue. And through that dialogue, I think they will come to a happy medium. Republicans will get what they want. I think the Democrats will get what they want. Obviously, right now, the way the bill is laid out, there's a lot of what they call pork, or a lot of special interest money in there that's not necessary. A lot of fat, a lot of wasted monies in this HEROES Act, that a lot of that will get carved out. And then what you'll see is some of the Republican things that they want in there will be added. And then they'll come to some type of agreement, and then this thing will go on to the president. One, it'll pass the Senate, and it'll go on to the president, and the president will sign it. Because both parties know the American people need something. And again, I keep going back to this. It's an election year. And people, they do not want people disgruntled going into an election saying, hey, our government didn't take care of us. And then most of that blame kind of is going to fall on the Republicans, because it's already been demonstrated that the Democrats want to give more checks. They want more stimulus. So the Republicans have no other choice but to figure out a game plan, compromise, get this thing done so that it's not a stain on them going into this election year. I know that's what they'll do. So eventually we will get the HEROES Act passed. It will look different than it does today. It will include that $1,200 stimulus check. But again, that's not enough. We need way more than that if we're going to help with a speedy recovery. Right now, the way it's sitting, if you listen to what the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, has said over the last few days, we're in for a long, hard financial, economic recovery in our country because of what's going on in relationship with this pandemic. We're in for a long recovery unless we can put more money in the American people's pocket in order to be able to stimulate or keep the economy going. The only way the economy keeps going is if we have people that can spend money. And $1,200 a month, $1,200 one-time payment is not going to be enough. You need reoccurring checks so that people can continue to, buy the essential things they need to keep our country going and to keep them going. So that's my update, guys. I'm optimistic that at some point next week, we will see the Senate approve this HEROES Act. It will look different, but they will approve it, and then they will send it on to the president for signing. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing. Smash that thumbs up button, share the video, and stay safe. Keep loving one another. We'll get through this together. And I'll catch you guys on the next update video. Peace.